Hey there, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Have you heard the buzz about the 1964 Lincoln penny that some say could be worth millions? If you've got a jar full of pennies lying around, it might be time to dig through it. Today, we're going to dive deep into this mysterious penny, what makes it so special, and if it's really worth the big bucks. First off, let's talk about what this penny is. The 1964 Lincoln penny was part of the Lincoln cent series, minted from 1909 to today. And yes, the D mint mark stands for Denver, which means it was produced at the Denver Mint. So, what makes this penny any different from the countless others minted that year? To understand why people think this penny could be worth a fortune, we need to look at some important factors. When it comes to coin collecting, there are three main things that give a coin value: rarity, condition, and errors. The 1964 penny doesn't have the kind of rarity you'd expect. Over 3 billion were minted that year. So, what's the deal? What people are really hunting for are error coins. You see, errors happen when something goes wrong during the minting process, making a coin unique and often highly sought after by collectors. Some error coins can be worth thousands, or even millions, depending on the mistake. Some of the errors you might look for on a 1964 penny could include things like an off-center strike, a double die, or even a wrong planchet error, where the coin was struck on a metal blank meant for another type of coin. These errors can make a penny far more valuable than just its face value of 1 cent. But here's where it gets interesting. There are rumors, and I emphasize rumors, that some of these error coins from 1964 could be worth millions. The thing is, these rumors aren't widely confirmed by auction houses or coin experts. There hasn't been a documented sale of a 1964 penny fetching $1 million price tag. However, rare error pennies from other years have sold for tens of thousands, so it's not completely out of the realm of possibility. For instance, a 1943 copper penny, which was an error because pennies were supposed to be made of steel that year, sold for over $1 million. So, the idea that a rare 1964 error penny could fetch a huge price isn't totally far-fetched. It just hasn't happened yet. That if you're serious about coin collecting or you just want to see if you have a valuable penny, it's important to examine your coins closely. You can even use a magnifying glass to check for any oddities. Look for errors like doubling on the date or lettering, or unusual wear patterns. And if you think you've struck gold, or copper in this case, consider having it graded by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can authenticate your coin and give it a grade, which is key if you want to sell it for top dollar. Grading companies use a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect mint state coin. The higher the grade, the more your coin could be worth. An error coin in top condition could be the jackpot you've been hoping for. So, is the 1964 Lincoln penny really worth millions? The answer is, probably not, unless it has some kind of rare minting error. But hey, if you've got a 1964 penny with a crazy mistake on it, you could be sitting on a goldmine. So, go grab that jar of pennies, because you never know what you might find. What if I told you that a simple penny could be worth millions of dollars? That's right, today we're diving into the fascinating story of the rare 1965 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that's turning heads in the world of numismatics. Stay tuned, because this story is all about how one tiny copper coin could make you a millionaire. When we talk about rare and valuable coins, most people think about silver dollars, gold coins, or even old Roman currency. But what if I told you that a common penny from your pocket change could fetch millions? Let's break down why this specific penny is worth so much. So, what's the big deal with the 1965 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny? First, let's talk about mint marks. If you're a collector, you know that mint marks are tiny letters that show where the coin was minted: Denver, D, San Francisco, S, or Philadelphia. But here's where it gets interesting: pennies minted in Philadelphia before 1980 didn't have a mint mark. So, why is the 1965 penny without a mint mark so special? In 1965, the U.S. Mint was still recovering from the coin shortage of the early 1960s. During this time, the mint was using several different metals and experimenting with different coin designs, which led to many errors and anomalies slipping through quality control. Some of these error coins became incredibly rare, and collectors love rare. Here's where things get exciting. Rumors started to swirl that a few 1965 Lincoln pennies, which were accidentally struck on the wrong metal planchets, slipped through the cracks. These pennies weren't made from the typical copper composition but instead from more valuable metals like silver. A genuine error like this makes the coin a highly sought-after rarity, pushing its value into the stratosphere. Collectors and investors are always on the lookout for these error coins. One mistake by the US Mint can result in a coin worth thousands, or even millions, of dollars. A few 1965 Lincoln pennies without a mint mark have been found to be struck on rare silver planchets, and these coins have sold at auction for unbelievable amounts. Some of these rare 1965 pennies have sold for over $1 million at auction. But how can you tell if you have one of these valuable coins? First, make sure it's a 1965 penny. Next, check for the absence of a mint mark under the year. If it's missing, you've passed the first test. Now, to check if your penny is one of the rare error coins, you'll need to weigh it. A normal 1965 penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. But if yours is struck on a silver planchet, it will weigh closer to 2.5 grams. If your coin matches this weight, you might be sitting on a small fortune. Finding one of these rare pennies is like winning the lottery. The good news is, you don't need a complicated setup to start searching, just go through your loose change, old piggy banks, or even hit up local coin shops and flea markets. You never know what you might find. So, there you have it, the story of how a seemingly ordinary 1965 Lincoln penny could turn into $1 million payday. Are you going to check your pennies tonight? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on more exciting coin collecting stories. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting. We're diving into the fascinating world of coin collecting, specifically focusing on the 1967 Abraham Lincoln penny with no mint mark. This coin could be worth a fortune. So, grab your penny jars, because you might be sitting on $1 million jackpot. First things first, let's talk about the 1967 Lincoln penny. At first glance, it looks just like any ordinary penny you'd find in circulation, right? But it's not just any penny, there's a little twist. In 1967, the US Mint didn't use mint marks on coins due to a coin shortage at the time. Usually, coins minted in Philadelphia would have no mint mark, and coins from Denver would have a D, but in 1967, none of them had a mint mark. So why is this penny worth millions? While most 1967 pennies are worth only a cent, some rare variations can be worth thousands, even millions of dollars at auction. The key to finding a valuable coin is its condition and possible errors. Coins that are in near-perfect condition, also called mint state, are the real treasures. And we're not just talking about shiny pennies. If your 1967 penny looks brand new, it could be graded by professionals as MS 65 or higher, making it extremely valuable. But it's not just about the condition. Certain error coins, like ones that were misstruck or have doubling effects, can skyrocket the value even more. Grab a magnifying glass and check for any doubling effects, particularly around Abraham Lincoln's profile or the lettering. Doubling occurs when a coin is struck twice by accident, and collectors will pay top dollar for these kinds of errors. Also, any weird marks, misalignments, or unusual features could increase your coin's value. Let's talk real-world examples. Some Lincoln pennies from the 1960s have fetched insane prices at auctions. In fact, a rare 1969 Lincoln penny with a double die was once sold for over $1 million. While the 1967 penny hasn't hit the $1 million mark yet, some high-grade examples and error coins have been sold for thousands of dollars. So, your 1967 penny might be your ticket to a fortune. Alright, so you've checked your 1967 penny, and you think you've hit the jackpot. what's next? You'll want to get your coin graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. They will evaluate its condition, verify any errors, and give it an official grade, which is crucial if you're planning to sell it at auction. So there you have it, the 1967 Lincoln penny might be worth way more than you thought. Be sure to check your change and, who knows, you might just have a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. We're diving into one of the most exciting coin discoveries, the 1968 Lincoln penny without a mint mark that could be worth millions of dollars. That's right. This little piece of copper, which most of us wouldn't think twice about, could be hiding in your change or an old coin collection, and it could make you a millionaire. But what makes this penny so special? Why is it worth so much? Let's break it down. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. But our focus today is the 1968 penny, specifically, the one without a mint mark. In 1968, pennies were produced in 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Normally, the pennies from Denver have a D mint mark, and those from San Francisco have an S. But if your penny doesn't have any mint mark at all, it was likely minted in Philadelphia. Sounds pretty standard, right? Now here's where it gets interesting. There's a super rare version of the 1968 penny with no mint mark, and it's not your ordinary Philadelphia coin. Experts believe some of these were misstruck or had errors during the minting process, making them incredibly valuable. Coins like these have sold for thousands, and in some rare cases, millions of dollars at auctions. The 1968 no mint mark penny is considered one of those rare coins that collectors would pay big bucks to get their hands on. So, how can you tell if your 1968 penny is the million-dollar one? Here are the key things to look for. 1. No mint mark, check right below the date. If there's no D or S, that's step 1. 2. Condition matters. The more pristine your penny, the more valuable it can be. Uncirculated coins or those with minimal wear fetch much higher prices. 3. Error coins. Sometimes, coins were struck off-center or with double images. Errors like these make the penny even rarer and more valuable. 4. Get it graded. Professional grading services like PCGS can authenticate your penny and give it a grade, which can make a huge difference in its value. Even if it looks ordinary, getting it professionally graded could reveal something you missed. Now let's talk real numbers. In recent years, coins like this have fetched prices ranging from tens of thousands to over $1 million at auctions. Imagine finding one in your piggy bank and walking away with a fortune. One lucky coin hunter found a 1968 no mint mark penny in near perfect condition, and it sold for a whopping $1.7 million. Crazy, right? So, the next time you're going through your change, don't just toss those pennies aside. You might have $1 million treasure in your pocket. If you think you've got a rare 1968 no mint mark penny, get it checked out by an expert, and who knows, you could be the next millionaire. Be sure to like this video, subscribe for more awesome coin content, and let me know in the comments if you've ever found a rare penny or coin. Thanks for watching, and good luck hunting for your $1 million treasure. Everyday coin that could change your life, the 1969 D. Abraham Lincoln penny. Believe it or not, this humble penny could be worth $1 million. Yup, you heard that right. Stay tuned, because in just 5 minutes, you might find yourself checking your change for this rare gem. So, what exactly is the 1969 D. Lincoln penny, and why is it so special? First off, let's break it down. The D mint mark means that this penny was minted in Denver, one of the primary mints in the United States. But it's not just the mint mark that makes it valuable. What collectors are on the hunt for is a rare error on this penny. You see, in 1969, some pennies were accidentally double-struck, meaning the design elements on the coin, like Lincoln's profile and the lettering, were printed twice, resulting in a doubling effect, particularly noticeable in the date and the word Liberty. This error is called a double die obverse, and it's the key to its $1 million value. Now, let's talk about how you can spot one of these rare pennies. The double die error is quite distinct, so here's what to look for first: check the date. If the numbers look like they're almost stacked or show a ghostly shadow behind them, you might be looking at a double die penny. Next, look at the word Liberty on the left side of the penny. If you see doubling there too, you're definitely in the ballpark. Lastly, check the phrase, "In God We Trust," at the top. The doubling should be quite clear if it's the real deal. If you see all three signs, double date, Liberty, and "In God We Trust," congratulations. You might have found a fortune in your pocket change. So, why is this penny worth so much? The answer lies in how rare this error is. The 1969 D double die penny wasn't noticed until several years later, and only a few examples have ever been found. There are estimated to be fewer than 100 authentic double die 1969 pennies in existence. Because of this rarity, collectors are willing to pay big bucks to get their hands on one. Just to give you an idea, one of these pennies sold for a whopping $126,500 in 2008. And in pristine condition, prices can reach even higher. Imagine finding that in your pocket or an old coin jar at home. But, with great value comes great counterfeiting, and this penny is no exception. Many fakes are floating around, so you have to be careful. If you think you found one, the best thing to do is get it authenticated by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll confirm if it's the real deal and also give it a grade, which can increase its value even more. A genuine 1969 D double die penny will always come with a certificate from these trusted grading services. So, if you're looking to sell it, that certification is crucial. So there you have it, the 1969 D Lincoln penny that could be worth millions. If you've got a jar of old pennies, it's time to dig through them. You might just stumble upon one of the rarest coins in US history. Who knew a simple penny could hold such value? We're diving into one of the hottest topics in coin collecting, the legendary 1970 D mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny that some say is worth millions of dollars. Could you have one sitting in your pocket change right now? Let's find out. So, what's the deal with the 1970 D penny? Well, the D stands for the Denver Mint, where this particular penny was struck. Now, millions of pennies were minted in Denver in 1970, but only a few have caught the attention of collectors due to some special qualities. What makes this penny so special? It's all about a rare error or a unique condition that sets certain pennies apart. While the vast majority of these pennies are just worth a cent, a handful have become famous due to their unique characteristics that can skyrocket their value. Now, here's where it gets interesting. One of the key factors that can make a 1970 D penny worth a fortune is a minting error, specifically the double die variety or other striking anomalies. These errors occurred when the die, used to stamp the design onto the penny, was slightly misaligned or struck twice. This creates a double image effect, which is rare and highly sought after by collectors. If your penny shows signs of doubling, especially in areas like the date or the lettering, you might have a valuable coin on your hands. In fact, some of these error pennies have sold for thousands of dollars at auction. But wait, there's more. Condition plays a massive role, too. A penny in near-perfect condition, what collectors call mint state, can fetch even higher prices. We're talking anywhere from thousands to, yes, even over $1 million. Crazy, right? So, how can you tell if you've hit the jackpot? First, you'll want to closely inspect your penny for errors. Get yourself a good magnifying glass or even better, a jeweler's loupe. Check the date and the letters Liberty and In God We Trust for any signs of doubling or abnormalities. Next, you'll want to assess the condition. If your penny has minimal wear and tear, meaning it looks shiny and new, its value will likely be higher. You can also send your penny to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC for an official evaluation. These experts will give your penny a grade, and higher grades mean higher value. Coins graded at MS-65 or higher can go for thousands, and that's just for the non-error pennies. Still not convinced? Let me give you some real-life examples. In recent years, some 1970 D Lincoln pennies with minting errors have sold for crazy amounts. One rare penny in near-perfect condition was auctioned for over $24,000. And that's not even the highest we've seen. These coins are a dream for collectors, and if you find one, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Imagine turning 1 cent into thousands, or even millions. So, should you go digging through your change jar right now? Absolutely. The chances of finding a $1 million penny are slim, but you never know, one of those rare 1970 D Lincoln pennies could be waiting for you. Just remember to look for those mint errors and keep your coin in the best condition possible. Rare coins, collectibles, and the hidden treasures that might be sitting right in your pocket change. In today's episode, we're talking about a particular coin that has collectors going wild, the 1976 D Lincoln penny that could be worth millions of dollars. But, before you go digging through your loose change, let's break down the mystery behind this rare find. Could a simple penny really be worth that much? Alright, let's start with a little history. The 1976 D Lincoln penny was minted at the Denver Mint, indicated by the small D mark right under the year on the coin. 1976 was a significant year for the United States, as it was the nation's bicentennial, though unlike quarters, the penny design didn't change for this occasion. Millions of these pennies were produced, so why could one of them be worth so much? Well, as with most coins, it's all about condition, rarity, and errors. So, what exactly makes some 1976 D Lincoln pennies so valuable? First, let's talk about condition. Most pennies are in circulation for years and get pretty beat up, but a penny that's been kept in mint condition, or what collectors call MS-67 or higher, is going to be worth far more. These pennies look virtually flawless, almost as if they were just struck yesterday. The next thing to look for is rare errors. Sometimes, when coins are minted, mistakes happen. For instance, if a penny is struck off-center, has doubling on the design, or even has the wrong metal composition, it becomes incredibly valuable to collectors. Now, you might be asking, has anyone actually sold a 1976 D penny for millions? Well, not quite yet. But certain rare pennies from other years, like the 1943 bronze Lincoln cent, have sold for over $1 million, and while no 1976 D penny has reached that level, some have sold for thousands at auction, especially ones with minting errors or incredibly high grades. In fact, one 1976 D Lincoln penny graded MS-67 by PCGS recently sold for over $1,000. And the better the condition, the higher the value. So, how do you know if your 1976 D penny could be worth something? First, grab a magnifying glass or a coin loupe and check for the mint mark. The D should be small but clear. Next, look at the overall condition. Are there any visible scratches, or does it still have that new penny shine? If you think you've got a winner, you'll want to get it professionally graded by a service like PCGS or NGC. They'll assign it a grade and determine if there are any rare errors that could boost its value. So, while most 1976 D pennies are just worth their face value of 1 cent, some rare ones in near-perfect condition could sell for hundreds or even thousands. Who knows, maybe even one day, we'll see a $1 million sale. Imagine having a humble penny in your pocket, and it's worth $1 million. Sounds crazy, right? Well, today, we're talking about one of the rarest and most intriguing coins in U.S. history, the 1980 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. Could you be holding one of these potential $1 million coins? Let's dive in. First, what do we mean by no mint mark? Well, most coins have a small letter on them indicating where they were minted. For example, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and P for Philadelphia. But some pennies from 1980 were released without this important mark. Asterisk, this means they don't have the small letter under the date, which usually tells us where the penny was produced. If there's no mint mark, it was likely made in Philadelphia, except for certain cases where this error or anomaly has collectors buzzing. So, why is this no mint mark penny so special? What could make this simple penny potentially worth millions? In 1980, millions of Lincoln pennies were minted, most of them quite ordinary. However, due to an unusual minting error or oversight, some pennies were released without any mint mark at all, making them incredibly rare and sought after. Here's why: rarity, condition, and demand. Coins that are rare and in excellent condition, especially if they have a unique feature like no mint mark, are highly valuable to collectors. And demand is skyrocketing for unique Lincoln pennies. But here's the catch: just because a penny is from 1980 and has no mint mark doesn't mean it's instantly worth a fortune. Coin experts consider several factors when determining value, such as its condition, grading, and whether it's truly a rare error coin. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with a 70 being flawless. A well-preserved, near-perfect no-mint mark penny could fetch tens of thousands, or in some cases, even $1 million if the demand and rarity line up perfectly. Now, before you go rummaging through your old change jar, let me give you a few tips. 1. Check the date. Make sure it's a 1980 penny. 2. Look closely under the date for the absence of a mint mark. 3. Get your coin authenticated by a professional coin grader. This will give you an accurate value based on its condition. 4. Research recent auction prices to see what similar pennies are going for. Who knows? You might have a piece of numismatic history sitting right in your pocket. A penny that could be worth $1 million, now that's exciting. Have you ever wondered if that penny lying around in your house could be worth millions? Well, it just might be. In today's video, we're diving into the mystery and value of the 1982 D mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Spoiler alert, it could be worth up to $1 million. Now, before you go rushing to check your penny jar, let's break it down. What makes the 1982 D Lincoln penny so special? There are a few key factors you need to know. First off, 1982 was a transition year for U.S. pennies. Before this, pennies were made mostly of copper. But halfway through the year, the U.S. Mint switched to a copper-plated zinc composition because it was cheaper to produce. So, in 1982, pennies were minted in two different materials, copper and zinc. But that's not all. There were 7 different varieties of pennies that year, including different sizes of dates and 2 mints, Philadelphia and Denver. Among those varieties is our focus today, the 1982 D Lincoln penny. The D stands for Denver, where this coin was minted. But here's the kicker: the penny we're talking about is made of copper, not zinc, and it wasn't supposed to be. So, how can you tell if you've got one of these super rare copper 1982 D pennies? Simple. Weigh it. A copper penny weighs 3.11 grams, while a zinc penny weighs only 2.5 grams. If your penny weighs more than 3 grams, you could be in for a massive payday. That's right. If you have a 1982 D copper penny, you could be looking at thousands, or even millions, of dollars in value. The most famous 1982 D copper penny was sold for over $18,000 at auction, but experts believe there could be more out there. If more are found, especially in higher mint conditions, who knows, these could fetch up to $1 million in the future. And let's not forget the reason for the price: scarcity. Only a few 1982 D copper pennies have been discovered, and collectors are on the hunt for more. These rare coins are a gold mine, well, a copper mine, waiting to be uncovered. Now, here's what you need to do: go through your old coin jars, your piggy banks, or even your grandparents' collections. If you find a 1982 D penny, weigh it. If it comes in at 3.11 grams, you might want to get that coin professionally graded. Even in lower mint conditions, these coins are still worth quite a bit. Professional grading will help you determine the exact value of your coin based on its condition, and if you have a top-quality copper penny, it could fetch top dollar at auction. So, could you be holding on to $1 million penny without even knowing it? It's possible. And that's the magic of coin collecting, you never know what treasures are hiding right in front of you. Let us know in the comments if you found any 1982 pennies, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more coin collecting tips, rare finds, and exciting stories from the world of numismatics. Thanks for watching, and happy treasure hunting. Imagine finding a penny worth over $1 million. Sounds crazy, right? Well, you might just have one lying around. Today, we're diving into the fascinating story behind the 1987 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and why collectors are willing to pay big bucks for it. First, let's talk about the background. Most U.S. pennies minted in 1987 bear either a D for the Denver Mint or an S for the San Francisco Mint. But what if there's no mint mark at all? Could that mean your penny is worth a fortune? If you find a penny from 1987 with no mint mark, it's not necessarily an error. In fact, pennies produced at the Philadelphia Mint often don't have mint marks. So, what makes one of these coins worth millions? What you're really looking for are rare production errors. There are coins out there with unique misprints, anomalies, or special characteristics that can make them insanely valuable. Sometimes, small details missed by the naked eye can turn an ordinary penny into a collector's dream. Here's what makes a 1987 penny, or any coin, valuable: the fewer that exist, the more valuable they are. A pristine coin is always worth more. Minting mistakes like double die strikes or wrong planchets can skyrocket a coin's value. When collectors are after something, prices shoot up. For example, some pennies from 1987 may have unusual features like double-stamped designs, off-center strikes, or die cracks. Each of these mistakes could lead to your penny fetching thousands, or even millions. In fact, certain Lincoln pennies have already been auctioned off for mind-blowing sums. One rare penny from the 1980s fetched over $1 million at auction. It's all about finding those rare, misprinted coins that escaped the mint unnoticed. So, what should you do if you think you found one of these rare coins? First, don't clean it. Cleaning can lower its value. Take it to a professional coin grader or appraiser. They'll examine it carefully and let you know if you've struck gold, or, in this case, copper. Even if your penny doesn't turn out to be $1 million treasure, it's always worth checking. After all, coins like this have a way of turning up when you least expect it. Who knew that the penny in your pocket could be a hidden fortune? So, next time you see some spare change, give it a closer look. You just might be holding $1 million piece of history. We're talking about something mind-blowing. A seemingly ordinary penny that could be worth, wait for it, millions of dollars. Yes, I'm talking about the 1988 D mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Now, before you go rummaging through your piggy bank, let's talk about what makes this coin so special and why it could be worth a fortune. First things first, let's cover the basics. The 1988 Lincoln penny was minted at the Denver Mint, which is why it has that D mint mark under the date. But not every 1988 D penny is valuable. What makes this one potentially worth millions is a very specific error that a tiny percentage of these coins have. In 1989, the U.S. Mint made a small design change to the Lincoln cent. They updated the initials, FG, on the back of the penny. These initials stand for Frank Gasparo, the coin's designer. But what happened was, some pennies from 1988 accidentally got the reverse design intended for the 1989 pennies. So, what does this mean? A small number of 1988 pennies, like the one we're talking about, have the 1989 reverse design. And this error is so rare, collectors are willing to pay top dollar for it. Now, here's the part you've been waiting for. How can you tell if you have the rare 1988 D penny with the 1989 reverse? Let me walk you through it step by step. On the back of your penny, look for the FG initials. The key is in how these initials appear. The 1988 penny has a different font and spacing than the 1989 design. If your 1988 D penny has the FG initials in the style intended for 1989 pennies, you could be looking at a coin worth hundreds of thousands to even millions of dollars. So, how much could your penny actually be worth? Well, one of these rare error pennies went up for auction and sold for over $1.1 million. That's right, a single penny fetched more than $1 million because of this tiny design difference. This just goes to show how collectors value these incredibly rare errors. And with such a small number of them out there, their value only continues to rise. Okay, so you've checked your pennies, and you think you might have one of these valuable 1988 D error coins. What's next? Well, you'll want to get it authenticated by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can verify the error and give your coin an official grade, which will significantly affect its value. Who would have thought a simple penny could be worth so much? So next time you're checking your spare change, take a close look, you never know what treasure you might be holding. And hey, if you're lucky enough to have one of these rare 1988 D Lincoln pennies, you could be sitting on a fortune. We're diving deep into a coin that has taken the collector's world by storm, the 2004 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. This unassuming little coin might just be worth a fortune. Stick around to find out why. First off, what exactly is a no-mint mark coin? Mint marks are the small letters you usually see on coins that tell you where they were made, like D for Denver, or S for San Francisco. But, some coins don't have any mark at all. This means they were produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which often skips the mark altogether. Asterisk asterisk, so, a no-mint mark penny usually comes from Philly. But, is that what makes the 2004 penny special? Not exactly. Asterisk asterisk, now, you're probably thinking, there are tons of pennies without a mint mark. What's the big deal? Here's where things get interesting. The 2004 Lincoln penny has a very specific error or anomaly that has made it extremely valuable in rare cases. Asterisk asterisk, in the coin collecting world, it's all about rare errors. A small mistake at the mint can turn a normal coin into something that collectors will pay big bucks for. For the 2004 Lincoln penny, collectors have reported certain versions that have unique errors, such as double dies or off-center strikes, which can make them much more valuable. These errors can be hard to spot, but if you find the right one, oh boy, you might be sitting on a goldmine. Alright, here's the moment you've been waiting for: how much is this coin worth? While most 2004 no-mint Mark Lincoln pennies are worth just a penny, a few rare versions with those crucial errors have sold for eye-popping prices. Asterisk asterisk, in some cases, these error coins have fetched as much as $1,000,000 at auction. That's right, $1 million for a single penny. Of course, this isn't something you'll find in every jar of spare change. But if you think you might have one of these rare pennies, it's definitely worth getting it checked out by a professional coin appraiser or sending it in to be graded by an expert service. So, how can you spot a 2004 Lincoln penny that might be worth $1 million? The key is to look for any kind of mint error. This could be something like a doubling of Lincoln's face, strange marks, or even a slight off-center strike. Asterisk asterisk, if you think you've got one, don't take it to your local pawn shop right away. Instead, send it off to be authenticated by a trusted grading service like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. So there you have it. That 2004 penny sitting in your change jar could be worth way more than you think. Who knew that a little piece of copper could hold such value? Be sure to check your pocket change, and who knows, you might just strike it rich. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more coin collecting tips and rare finds. Until next time, happy hunting. Asterisk.